Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports. Today, we have to put a grade on the San Francisco 49ers 20-17 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Just happened yesterday. Tough loss overall for us, 10-2 now. So far, the division all of a sudden is not looking as surefire as it had been over the past couple of weeks. But at the same time, before we jump into these grades, we didn't expect to go 3-0 during this tough three-game stretch. I said we'd lose to Baltimore, and here we are. We can rebound against the Saints next week. I'm not that worried about it. But I want to go ahead and jump into offense, defense, special teams grades, and then individual grades like Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert as well. Starting with the offense, which honestly, B-, looked pretty good overall. Great opening drive, great catch there by Deebo Samuel on that 4th down and 2 pass. Great running by Raheem Mostert. They protected well. The only issue was that second drive, whenever Jimmy Garoppolo held on to the football a little bit too long, the strip sack, the fumble that resulted in Baltimore's first points. After that, though, I know that Mostert had the touchdown run, but after that, the offense was up and down the remainder of the day. Couldn't really move the football. The receivers weren't doing much. George Kittle was not doing much, and every running back not named Raheem Mostert was not doing a lot either. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, I thought he was fine. Again, only one fumble, no bad passes in terms of interceptions. He did enough to win this football game. Really, the whole offense did enough to win this football game, but it was tough conditions. It was a tough team to play against, and obviously a tough call there on 4th down and 1 whenever they had a chance to really put the game away. If they converted that 4th down, they probably go down, score, they win the football game. You don't leave a lot of time left for Lamar, and they decided to throw the football. Now, we can get mad at Kyle Shanahan all day long because the running game was averaging like 6 yards per carry, and you should have just gone I formation with Juszczyk and pounded the football right down their throats. But had they converted on that pass, then we wouldn't even care. So it's one of those weird plays in the NFL. I know, we should have run it. I totally agree. I'm as upset as you guys are. But at the same time, you convert it, you complete it, we keep moving, and then you have a chance to really go down, like I said, put on points and score. I do think on a neutral field, with no horrible, windy, rainy conditions, the Niners have a chance to really win this football game. I like their chances against this defense, again, on a neutral field. Just pairing with the early turnover by Garoppolo on the fumble, the lack of a running game besides Raheem Mostert, and the fact that it was nasty out there, I think contributes to the 49ers losing this football game. Who played better, though, in y'all's opinion? Type O for offense, type D for defense down below. I want to know what you guys think in the comments section. Again, we're talking about the defense right now, but both of them had their ups, both of them had their downs. I think I'd probably go with the offense playing a little bit better than the defense. And speaking of defense, they actually get a B- as well, though their B- is a little bit different than the offense's B- because it was a very interesting day for the San Francisco 49ers defense. They defended the pass beautifully. Anyone throwing on the outside, I mean, Hollywood Brown did absolutely nothing. Lamar Jackson had less than 150 yards passing, but at the same time, when he was completing passes, it was always to the tight ends, and that seemed to be a scheming problem, which goes into what we're going to talk about right now with scheming to stop Lamar Jackson. It literally felt like the coaches told the Niner defense, again, I don't know if it's true or not, to not go after Lamar Jackson on the read options. They were crashing in on Mark Ingram and Latavius Murray every single time it felt like Lamar Jackson would pull the football and run it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And again, the defense played well. You hold Baltimore to 20 points in a game. Teams are not able to do that this year. That's a huge win for the 49ers, but at the same time and time again, crucial 3rd down and 6, crucial 4th down and 2. Lamar Jackson rolling out of the pocket, running the football. The Niners seemed unprepared to stop his running aspect, and that was very frustrating to watch all day long. Again, you hold Lamar to 20 points in Baltimore. That's a huge win for the defense, but the problem continues that really they didn't do a good job stopping the run. And Baltimore, of course, rushed for 178 yards total, and most of that was Lamar Jackson, not exactly the running backs, Latavius Murray, and, of course, Mark Ingram. So I don't know if it was a scheming thing. I don't know if the coaches told them, hey, we're going to go after the running backs, make Lamar Jackson beat us with his legs because we have Fred Warner. I have no idea. They defended against the pass very, very well. They were just unable to stop the run, and, of course, that's kind of the big issue whenever you play Baltimore. I'll be very curious to see how they bounce back next Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. A very different football team, but a football team where the defense needs to step up nonetheless. Hey, if you guys subscribe to our 49ers Only Chat Sports YouTube channel, 9,330, I think, is our total subscription number right now. We're trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. We can do it easily with your help. Go ahead and click the red subscribe button. Also click the notification bell as well. That way you're notified whenever we release these videos, which is very, very often. Okay, special teams. It's another B minus. Really? We're going to go 3 straight B minuses here? Yes, we are. I know that Robbie Gould missed that kick, and also welcome back, Robbie Gould. He's been gone for a while with a hamstring injury. But do we expect Robbie Gould to make a 51-yard field goal in that weather like this? Is it supposed to be automatic? I know Justin Tucker made his, but Justin Tucker is one of the best pure kickers in NFL history. I do not blame Robbie Gould for this. It was still early on in the game. They should have scored more points in the second half regardless, and he did hit his field goal to put the Niners ahead 17-14, so I don't want to rip Robbie Gould here as a lot of people want to try and do. I know it turned out to be an important 51-yard kick, but in that weather, in that situation, tough to do nonetheless. I think if you went into this game and said he'd be 1 for 2 after seeing what the conditions would be, we would all have been very, very excited. Speaking of being excited, listen, I know that the Niners lost, and I know that betting on the 49ers right now might not be a popular thing because of the loss, but the Niners have not lost back-to-back games all season, meaning when we go to New Orleans next week, you probably want to get some bets in on the 49ers. We got a deal for you guys here, as we always do, chatsports.com/bet. Go use the promo code 49ers. Get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you guys first sign up. Again, you haven't done it yet, been waiting all season, I'll encourage you guys to do it because, again, the Niners have not lost back-to-back games all year, so we should be good to go against the Saints. Chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code 49ers. All right, some individual grades here. Jimmy Garoppolo, he gets a B+. I know the stats are not anything to write home about. 15 of 21, 165 yards, and a touchdown, but no interceptions. You can make the argument it was a coverage sack that resulted in a strip sack whenever Jimmy Garoppolo had the only turnover of the 49er day. Here's the thing. When Kittle is not catching a lot of passes, and again, we're going to talk about Kittle in a second, but Kittle was basically a non-factor, the 49er wide receivers tend to not be that effective. Again, Deebo Samuel, a nice catch. He had 2 for 40-something yards on that touchdown. He had a nice run as well, but Emmanuel Sanders didn't do much in this football game. And, of course, the backs of the backfield besides Mostert were not helping out Jimmy G as well. You have the rain. You have basically an injured, possibly Kittle that's dealing with the ankle problems and just not having a good day overall. Jimmy Garoppolo did enough to win. Again, I think we would say if the Niner defense held the Ravens to 20, we would have thought the 49ers could score enough points, and I think they would have on a neutral field. They were in a position to win this football game. Again, the 4th down call, I don't like it. I would have run the football, but hindsight is 20/20. If he would have completed the pass, we wouldn't even be worrying about this right now. We'd be praising Kyle Shanahan for how great of an offensive genius he is, which of course we all know he actually is. So, Jimmy G, a lot of people want to rip on him for this one. I have no issues. The rain definitely was a problem. Lamar did not throw the ball well. Jimmy G did not throw the ball very well. Did not have a lot of help from the receivers or the tight end, and yet still had a good enough day to win this football game. Let me know what you guys think about Jimmy G in the comments down below. What grade would you guys give Jimmy Garoppolo? Give me a grade for him down below. I'm very curious about how you guys are going to rate Jimmy G in the comments section. Raheem Mostert, the only running back, gets our next grade here who really did anything. He actually gets an A+. There was no Matt Breida in this game, still dealing with that ankle injury. He should be able to go against the New Orleans Saints. That's the early report going into this week. But, I mean, can you ask for a better day? 19 carries, 146 yards, 7.7 yards per carry, and a touchdown. He's the reason why you look back and go, man, why did they not run the football on 4th down and 1? But still, Mostert was fine. Mostert was exactly what we needed him to be. The disappointing part about today was that, or yesterday, was that Tevin Coleman had 5 carries for 6 yards. No idea what's going on with Tevin Coleman, but it feels like when Breida is out, Coleman tends to struggle as well. Normally, Jeff Wilson Jr., Raheem Mostert picks up the slack, but today there was no help from Tevin Coleman. The Niners could have used that, especially in the screen game, in the short passing game. He's a big threat out of the backfield, and this just tells me that you really need Matt Breida back. You got to remember Matt Breida, probably the best running back on this roster. And again, Mostert played very, very well. But if Coleman could have balanced that out with 10 carries for 70 yards, they would have rushed for 200 yards and probably have won this football game. Again, A+ for Mostert. Rest of the running backs, including Tevin Coleman, give them more like a D-. They were not very good. Okay, the interesting one here, George Kittle. Because George Kittle is a fascinating receiver in this 49er offense, who normally is catching 7 balls for 90 yards and a touchdown. He's a massive part of the passing game, and Jimmy Garoppolo comes to him and uses him very, very often, but he was basically a non-factor today. 4 targets, 2 catches, 17 yards, no touchdowns. He was great in the running game. That's why he gets a B-, because he was having some incredible blocks for Mostert on the edge. But the problem is, is the injury actually starting to really bother him? Remember, has a chip bone in his ankle. A lot of players said they would not be playing on that right now. He is. You wonder if pain tolerance on any given day is up and down and might have reared its ugly head against the Baltimore Ravens here on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, again, if this becomes a trend, then you got to wonder, okay, the ankle's definitely bothering him, or it's just a bad game receiving. Again, it was wet, it was rainy, Garoppolo didn't go to him often, but overall, when George Kittle tends to struggle, and the Niner receivers, the Niner passing game tends to struggle as well. I'll ask this question, even though I think it's kind of, it's a little too soon, but are you concerned about the 49ers after the loss at all? If you are, tell me why, but type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. All right, it's Cyber Monday, so I have some deals for you guys here via our friends at Fanatics.com. Jerseys are going like hotcakes right now, and I have some crazy discounted sales on Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys. These are authentic Nike jerseys too. Garoppolo, Sherman, Bosa, you get a Coleman one as well. They are all online at chatsports.com/49jersey. Again, chatsports.com/49jersey. This is the cheapest, it feels like. One of the best deals on the internet right now. Again, Cyber Monday. Get your shopping done for Christmas. Chatsports.com/49jersey. Okay, we'll do a receiver, and then we'll do some defensive players as well. Here, how about Deebo Samuel, B+. The only receiver who was really a factor in this game. Emmanuel Sanders really did not do anything, and like we said, Kittle struggles, receiver struggle. Deebo was great, a great catch there on 4th down and 2. He keeps showing these flashes of being a great receiver, but cannot be consistent throughout 4 quarters, tends to be his problem. Again, weather, I'll keep saying it because it's true, weather has an effect. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't throwing the ball all around the yard like we expect him to, but, you know, the other wide receivers have got to become factors. Kendrick Bourne's got to do more. Emmanuel Sanders has not had he's had back-to-back kind of average games. You wonder if the rib injury is starting to bother him as well. Everyone seems to be injured, but Samuel, fine. 4 targets, 2 catches, 41 yards, the touchdown, the 1 end-around rush as well. It was pretty good. Again, showing flashes, but not the consistency that I think the Niners are hoping for out of their rookie receiver. On terms of the grade, what grade did you guys give Deebo Samuel? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. In terms of the defense, I want to get to 2 defensive grades here, starting with Nick Bosa, who we're going to give a C+, but really, we need to give a C+ to the entire 49er defensive line. Now, DeForest Buckner was great. He was the only lineman to really show up on the stat sheet, but all the other Niner defensive linemen basically did nothing. Now, did they stop the running game decently enough in terms of the running backs? Yes, you know, it wasn't a great day for Mark Ingram. He was good, not great. Tavius Murray, again, you know, the other Baltimore running backs, Justice Hill, I think, is one of them as well. Didn't gash us. It was Lamar Jackson who gashed us. And I think Nick Bosa has to take a little bit of the blame because he's on the defensive end side of the football field. He's on the edge and has a lot of contained duties. And whether they were telling him to lose contain and go after running backs, or they telling him not to, and he was doing it anyway, I'm not sure. But this was probably the worst game that Nick Bosa has played in his young career. Again, most teams don't have success rushing the passer against Lamar Jackson, but some teams do have success in terms of slowing down Lamar Jackson, at least not letting him run all over the field. And you can do that by the help of your defensive linemen, your defensive ends, and of course ours were unable to do that in this game. Again, I say it like it's an easy thing to do. Like, teams are just stopping Lamar Jackson every single week. They're not. New England was unable to do it. But still, I think you got to hold Lamar to under 100 yards rushing, or really hold the team, I guess, to under 150 yards rushing. They were unable to do that. 174 yards on the ground, and a lot of that were big 3rd down runs by Lamar Jackson. The whole D-line, though, struggled a lot in this football game. Not as dominant as I was hoping against Lamar Jackson. Are you guys worried about the defense at all? Any concerns there? Again, they were great last week. A nice, clean, neutral field up there. Not neutral, but our field up at Levi Stadium. So we got to give it more time. Wait and see what happens in the Saints game. If they struggle in that game, then, you know, maybe we'll be a little bit worried, but we know still this is a great defense. We'll get to December and January and February, hopefully, and I think they're going to be just fine going forward. Final grade here. It's been a long video, but again, you know, when you struggle like they did in this game, probably more than any game they have this season, including the Seahawks game, you got to give a lot of grades out. Fred Warner, he actually played pretty well. B+ for Fred Warner. I would have liked to see them use him a little bit more, kind of spying and trying really to stop Lamar Jackson one-on-one. They did that a little bit in this game. Still 11 tackles, but just not not perfect. Again, you need to be perfect to stop Lamar Jackson. He did have those 2 huge pass breakups on the Ravens' second to last drive, which gave the ball back to Jimmy Garoppolo in a tie ball game to go down and score. So that was fantastic. And again, it's tough to guard Mark Andrews and, of course, Hurst, the other tight end. They did a decent job doing that all day, even though they were probably the primary pass catchers for the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. But again, I think they should have used Fred Warner against Lamar Jackson a little bit more, and maybe they did. Maybe Baltimore just schemed against him very, very well. But I thought Fred Warner would have one of those super monster days, and it was just a super day overall for Fred Warner. All right, there you go. There are your grades here for the 49ers 20-17 loss to Baltimore. I'm very curious how the comment section is going to be. Are we going to be panicking down below, or are we going to be, understanding and not too worried about it and say, oh, we'll get them next time, we're 10-2. The concern is, and again, this is going up on a Monday morning, so you have to depend. So the Seattle game has not happened yet on Monday Night Football. But if Seattle wins tonight, and again, you watch this on Tuesday, Seattle might have won. The Niners go from the number 1 seed all the way down to the 5th seed because they have lost to Seattle earlier on in the year. Some crucial games upcoming for San Francisco, starting with the Saints next week in the Superdome in New Orleans. We'll have to see how they're able to bounce back. They have not lost back-to-back games all year, and I think they're going to get their heads right after this loss, go to New Orleans and get a big win. All the time we have for today. Really appreciate you guys, as always, here on the 49ers Only Chat Sports YouTube channel. It's a loss, but you're still 10-2. I think we're going to be okay overall. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.